Welcome to Yes, I Am the Veteran, hosted by Brandy Pett.
Happy Thursday, everybody. It's me, Brandy P., the host of the Yes, I Am the Veteran, and I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving or just enjoy the time by themselves. I know for me, I tend to be among myself, but I know everyone's a bit different. But I know for me, it was a little bit more fun than usual because the day before Thanksgiving, I actually got to use my favorite flamethrower out of drive tanks for my graduation photos. So that was pretty fun. I'll definitely have some video for you guys when I get that back from my videographer, Michael Chrisman, a phenomenal Army veteran. Now, unfortunately, our guest was not able to come on tonight, but I did want to give some important information as we really have not done that in a while now. So I definitely wanted to have a podcast where I'm sharing some helpful information to our veteran community as well as just the listeners. And with that, I guess one thing I did notice is that I don't know if anyone else has been aware of it, but there's definitely a difference between professional and semi-professional haters. Definitely interesting. But before I'm not going to talk about that too much, but today we'll go ahead and talk about vocational rehabilitation. Now, first of all, with voc rehab, most people don't know they're eligible. Now, I'm going to show some information on it here. But with voc rehab, actually, you don't have to be 100%. A lot of veterans think that they do, but it actually is not. So let me go ahead and show you guys now. So this is voc rehabilitation in voc rehab, as it's called, is actually something that helps quite a bit of veterans in a lot of different ways. So some people, they want to finish school. Like in my case, I had a year left of school. I had a few days left of my GI Bill, but I was able to apply for this. Now, I didn't get it the first time, so you definitely can always reapply. You can apply online at va.gov, or your local VSO can give you information, as well as certain states like Texas Veterans Commission. They have that as well in the VA, and they can also assist you. So these all must be true to be eligible. So you can't have a dishonorable discharge. Now, I'll talk about that later as far as steps to go ahead and upgrade, and this is all from va.gov. So if anyone has any questions, you can definitely just type it in, voc rehab, and it'll come right up for you. But this is also something that is important to know. So basically, you have a service-connected disability of at least 10% from the VA, not 100%, 10. So at the end of the day, at least apply. The worst thing they'll tell you is no. If they say yes, that's significant change because of the fact that they do assist with whatever you're needing to be employed or to help you in your daily life if you are eligible for these programs. Now, if you were discharged from active duty before 2013, so it ends 12 years from one of these dates. So either the date you received the notice of separation or the date you received your first VA service-connected disability rating. So it is important. It's not necessarily use or lose, but it is time sensitive. So just make sure you keep that in mind. And if you're in service, you actually can file as well under certain circumstances. So you have to have 20% or higher pre-discharge disability rating. Usually it's like a MEB that's pending. I think they do that additionally with that now. And you're waiting to be discharged. So usually like MEBs or like a medical board, something along those lines. But it's definitely something that I wanted to talk about just because of the fact that it's something that a lot of veterans don't know. So things that you can get. So you can, some veterans, they've been able to be given laptops to help them with their schooling. I know for me, I needed a printer, so they actually were able to help me with that. What they're going to be doing is they give professional counseling. They also help as far as like OJT and try to find you employment that works with your disabilities and supportive rehabilitation services, including case management. Why can't I read today? Counseling and medical referrals. And independent living services to help you live as independently as possible. So it's definitely a lot of different benefits that a lot of veterans don't know are out there. So if you're eligible for GI Bill, can you get the post 9/11 substance rate for your VRE program? So if you're participating, you can choose to get paid the GI Bill rate instead of Chapter 31. But if you have a few days left of it, right, maybe not enough for a full semester, this would be where you don't use all your days. And if you have even 1 day remaining, you can actually get paid that full post 9/11 rate rather than the actual VRE rate. So I wanted to go ahead and go back to, but at the end of the day, it's definitely important information that I felt is something that can really help our brothers and sisters. And maybe we don't necessarily need it, but other people can. So we can always share with our brothers and sisters as well. And there's a lot of events coming up for the holidays. I know that some people, they're really feeling the crunch, especially family-wise. And there are a lot of different organizations that are doing like adopt a family events for veterans, as well as offering programs that veterans can really actually use or apply for, as well as volunteer for. It's not necessarily something that you have to need it to be part of it. So one of these is actually a program that is called Pay the Layaway. It's actually a program that is working with members with like high start card balances. It's a 501c3, and you would apply through them, and you would actually potentially get some assistance if you were approved for this program. I thought it was pretty interesting that they had a Pay the Layaway, because I know that's definitely something that they didn't have when I was in, or just retired, should I say. And they also have the Full Circle Home, which is an actual sponsorship program, which helps deployed members. So go ahead and put that in the comments now. Full Circle Home. And the Soldiers Angels are also doing an event. However, with it, it did change recently. They did have like the full max met, unfortunately, for new applicants. However, they are still looking for volunteers with the Soldiers Angels. And also Toys for Tots, of course, you can absolutely sign up for that, as well as Trees for Troops, which I think is really cool that they do donate these pretty amazing trees. So Full Circle Home there. And I did also want to have a special thanks for Wreaths Across America. So what this program is it's a program that lays wreaths for our fallen brothers and sisters around the holidays. I know one of our gold stars was just told that her son's going to have a wreath laid on his grave itself, which I thought was really, really awesome. So special thank you to Sergeant Carter at the DFW group for helping Sergeant Two-Step and have him recognized around the holidays, or showed a little bit of extra love, right? Because I think that's something that we all kind of need around the holidays. And let's see what else we got here. So now what I wanted to talk about a little bit more as well is, so a lot of people, when they're filing for their claims, they don't always know what's necessarily in the record. And that's something that I found reading a lot of records for veterans, because I was a medic and I can read all different branches. And I realized that a lot of people had like exposure to different things, and they weren't necessarily sure of how to go about looking at seeing if they could file for certain claims because of these certain symptoms that they're having because of these exposures. Now, public health, every time they're supposed to mark where you were, what you were exposed to, and it's usually in Part 3 of your medical record. Every record's different, but it should be something that's actively in your record. I know with Marines, I find quite often that they're exposed to asbestos and they didn't know. So it's definitely something that I would absolutely recommend every veteran to have their record reviewed, either by VSO, Texas Veterans, or Veterans Consortium. That's another organization that's great as far as helping veterans and donating legal services as well. But I'm going to show inh.gov. So this is a page you can go to, and it'll actually show, if you type in where you were, it will tell you all the things that you could have potentially been exposed to. So I'll go ahead and show that now. And this is something that I was also shown by the amazing Miss Felicia Kelly, who was a phenomenal claims counselor. So that's how I found out about that. But let's go ahead and show inh.gov. So this is inh.gov here. So National Institutes of Health. And then you would just go to the health information, and then you would just type it in where you go. So it looks, yeah, so it's NIH, not INH. Why? No, I'm a medic, sorry. But yes, nih.gov. So that's that. So I wanted to show you guys. Oh, Rob says taking 2 vets on the hog hunt. Man, that was a really cool hog hunt. So hey, Rob. So Rob actually was an amazing guide for us. I definitely felt like Dr. Verger because I'm disabled and I have no business running through a field like that because I clearly can't run. But no, it was an amazing hunt. Thank you guys so much, Hasseltine Kennels. But that was very fun. We both ended up getting sows. There was only 2 sows in the entire property, and it was funny because we were the ones that got both of the sows, and they were asking us, like, how did you both find sows? And we've got like tons of hogs. It's like, well, I don't know. But we actually, I ended up donating the meat from my kill to some homeless women veterans. So I was thankful that I was able to do that as well. But definitely, I don't know if anyone else likes to hunt, but I know I sure do. I was a little disappointed. I missed out on the crane hunting this last fall here in Texas when they had that open season for it. June says, worked with it 90% of the time. Yep, see, exactly. So yeah, just definitely check your records, guys, because there's lots of stuff in there. And yes, you can file for a new claim while you have an appeal pending. So say if you went on a Burn Pit 360, you found that, hey, maybe I was exposed to more than I realized, you absolutely can file for a new claim while you're waiting for an upgrade or a review, like a higher level review, if it's a new claim. So you can absolutely have both out at the same time. And for those of you that are having upgrade issues, right, with your discharge, I wanted to show some information on that as well. So let me go ahead and show it. So actually, we were talking more about this when the water contamination, we had a specific expert come on last year, and she was working with Aaron Brockovich. And we were talking about the Camp Lejeune water contamination claims. And for me, what I realized was that whenever you're discharged from the military, they should automatically review your record to see if there's any reason that you are being separated that you could be medically boarded for. And with the water contamination claims, my argument was this right here. They should anyone that was proven to be contaminated should be able to automatically apply for a discharge because of this. Now, for a discharge upgrade, so what you need to consider here is that all branches of the military, you have to have a strong case for discharge upgrade if you can show your discharge was connected to any of the categories. So PTSD, TBI, MSD, like anything that happened under the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy. And you absolutely can apply through va.gov. Again, I definitely would recommend speaking with VSOs or experts in this field particularly, but you can absolutely do a lot more than you realize with your upgrade. So what if I already applied and I was denied? So you would just apply again and then just put yes as like, have you applied before? And yes, OT discharges you can petition to have upgraded. Just depends on if it was less than honorable or honorable, I believe. What if the discharge for more than one period of service? So if the DoD or Coast Guard determine you serve honorably in one of these periods of service, you may use honorable characterization to establish eligibility for VA benefits, even though you later received a less than honorable discharge. You earned your benefits during the period in which you served honorably. Make sure you specifically mention your period of honorable service when you're applying for your benefits. So if you had more than one period, maybe one was honorable, one was not, you can absolutely use the honorable, but you have to specifically state it. Otherwise, they're going to most likely go with the most recent discharge. But again, always ask your experts, just because of the fact that you want to make sure that you have everything in front of you. Now, I absolutely recommend the Veterans Consortium, especially for anyone that's wanting to specifically reach out, just because of the fact that the Veterans Consortium has a lot of different attorneys throughout the entire U.S., and there are many other programs as well. I've worked with Veterans Consortium myself. It was quite helpful, especially when I was working to upgrade an issue that I had personally, and it actually had to go to it went from the higher level review to the Supreme Court of Veteran Appeals, and then it had to be remanded back. And I'm thankful that I went to them, because when she did the digging that I did not have access to, she found that half of my exams were only completed halfway. So had I not had her, I would not have known any of this, and it did have to get remanded back. So it's absolutely something that you definitely want to have your information, and I didn't pay a dime for it, and I would have probably paid a fortune otherwise. So if anyone has questions, I'm happy to try to connect you to where you need to go. But I definitely wanted to share some of this information, just because of the fact that so many of us, we don't know that we have so many things that are claimable in our medical records. But even with the PACT Act, I believe it was between 12 and 16 different claimable conditions came out. So definitely check out Burn Pit 360 as well.org. And that way you can maybe see if you maybe potentially would meet any of these requirements for these new claims. But let's see, what else do I have here? So next week, we do have a very special guest. We are going to have the man, the myth, the legend, Gunny Claus himself. And we will also have Miss Rosie the Riveter as well our fun Christmas podcast. And we will also have the always beautiful Tracy Laporte. So I don't have a lot for you guys tonight, but hi Battle Bean. But it's always a pleasure to try to give information where I can. Now, if I maybe miss something, if you have additional questions, I know I kind of sped through some of those. Please reach out and ask. I'm always happy to help as far as giving any sort of information to veterans. You can go to the Yes, I Am the Veteran podcast on Instagram, our Facebook page, YouTube. I mean, we're pretty much all over, but we're always happy to help try to connect veterans or even their caregivers that maybe just have questions, because many of us were afraid to file because of the fact that we don't want to rock the boat. We're worried that we're going to file and we're going to have our benefits actually taken away. But understand, if it's a static condition, that's not necessarily the case. Hey, Sam. My sister was really little, so Sam actually used to live on a fainting goat farm. So it was actually fun. Well, it wasn't fun. Like, my sister thought it was pretty funny. But when we would walk up to her house, the goats would all kind of just tip over. Like, we thought it was the funniest thing because I'd never seen a fainting goat before. I don't know if you guys have, but it's definitely fun. It's a little fun to watch. But definitely, guys, have a good night. We will see you guys next week. And like I said, if you have any questions, if you'd like to come on and be a future guest, please let us know. We're always happy to have new guests and new speakers, just because of the fact that we all need to learn some new stuff. I know I learn new stuff every day. So, all right, guys. Well, that's all I have for tonight, but take it away, Aurelia. Next week, I graduate. Woohoo!
Hi, I'm Aurelia. Just a reminder, smash like, hit subscribe, and click the bell. Please give me my mommy some hearts. Yay, veterans!